So for myself, I think about the man that I want to be. And the man that I want to be is certainly confident in all situations. Every room that man walks into, he feels powerful. Whenever he puts his gaze into a certain direction, he's judging the world, exerting his own influence on it rather than just reacting to different things that come.
Hello all, welcome to Lions Only.
Lions Only.
We were talking about making an intro episode of like why Lions Only, but let's be real, I think anybody that's actually watching this knows why we're doing it. I don't think there's people that are watching this that aren't really working out, aren't looking to improve themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc., etc. So we figured we would just dive right into this. Dive into the chocolate river, as it were, in Willy Wonka. So, yeah, I guess as far as talking points go, you had some pretty good ideas.
Yeah, so, let's grab this. We're going into a new year. Everybody's making their New Year's resolutions. And so me and Alex just wanted to go over and talk about some of the things that are on our minds. So maybe we should talk a little bit about how we started off with getting back into shape. Because we were both super fat like a year ago.
I was fatter, man.
Yeah, and I got married a year ago. I got married exactly 1 year ago. And we weren't in the best of shape. And I think you were the one who reached out to me saying that you were going to start working out every day and you're getting back into the gym. You were starting boxing. And as soon as I heard that, I had boxed before when I was in college. So that just lit a little competitive fire up in my heart. And so we started going back and forth, sending each other workouts and stuff and talking about what we were doing to get back into shape. And here we are 1 year better and going strong. And 2023 is going to bring even more success, more gains, more of everything good in life, God willing. So, I think that's sort of how we got started here.
Absolutely.
You want to add on with?
Yeah, it's about that. I think that, and what's kind of funny is now I'm gonna like flatter John Scott because he just did, to me the competitiveness. So I was at your wedding, and I realized, holy crap, I'm the fattest person here. Literally. And we were talking Lions Only, and then I remember actually like reflecting that night, being like, am I actually even that? And I don't think I was. I look back at old pictures of myself. I was like doing this weird like half depressed, half smile, like I wasn't happy. So yeah, after that, I just kind of wanted to get into it. And I think that a whole thing that we're probably going to talk about a lot, which is a pillar of what we're talking about, is mindset. A lot of people, I think, try to work out with the wrong intention, with the wrong mindset, kind of just like, oh, I want to just lose some weight. I feel like it has to be a lot deeper than that. You have to have this very specific moment with yourself that is just deeper. For me, it's not anymore that, I wanted to lose weight. I was, 245 pounds. And my goal wasn't, I want to lose weight. It was, I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to be able to destroy yesterday's version of me. And I want to get better and better and better every single day. And I'm still at that point. And I think why I like that, it's a goal that never ends. Perennial goal, right?
Yeah.
So, for me, a lot of it, I guess, is mindset. And that's something that we would talk about more anyways. But I don't want to get too sidetracked on the actual topic, which is the New Year's resolution. What can we do to, what can we do to help?
Sure. Well, going off of what you're saying about looking in the mirror and not liking what you see, I think there's a moment that I think everybody has who starts really getting into shape or starts really getting into fitness, where you kind of envision what your goal is, and that's what your New Year's resolutions are all about, right? They're about creating a goal, setting some sort of a standard for yourself that you're going to hold yourself to. And what's important about that, I think, is that nobody else can really do it for you.
Yeah.
Nobody else can wake you up and say, listen, instead of playing video games this morning, you have to go to the gym. Nobody else can say, you're going to pass on the cookies this time around. You're going to get an extra serving of protein in. That's something that only you can force yourself to do. And so developing that discipline over time towards adhering to that goal is, I think that's what we're going to talk about today. Just, some of the things that we learned along the way. And this is just episode 1. So as we go through, we'll share more and more enlightened viewpoints about the various topics, such as, myofascial release and recovery, balancing different forms of cardio and all this stuff. Today we're just going to start very, very basic with, when you get back in the gym, what are some of the things that you should think about? And I think one of the most important things before you do anything is like we talked about, have a vision of the person that you want to be and what your future is going to be. And once you know what the goal is, at least then you can take all the steps that you can to make sure that it happens. And that's the starting point. So for myself, I think about the man that I want to be. And the man that I want to be is certainly confident in all situations. Every room that man walks into, he feels powerful. Whenever he puts his gaze into a certain direction, he's judging the world, exerting his own influence on it rather than just reacting to different things that come. If you look over here at the lion, one of the reasons why we both love lions so much is that they're absolute and utter apex predators. They dominate everything in their sphere. Everybody respects them. And the only way that you break down a lion is by isolating them, right? And by isolation. And one of the great things about having this community that we have is that you're not isolated. There's other people around you who are encouraging you to have the right mentality, the right focus, and the right discipline to get you to where you want to be. You want to add on
I
here?
like that too. And especially like us wanting to make this group is because we're living in a world all of a sudden where like being dominant, being the alpha, the apex predator is like frowned upon. And it has this veil of toxic masculinity just because you want to embrace. Look, it's not even that. There's plenty of my cousin is an absolute alpha killer.
Yeah.
She does this and she's a female. This isn't even man and female and stuff. It's being the best you can possibly be. And it's almost like society nowadays is just reverting to this, I don't know, like you go on social media and you see videos, it's okay to be weak, it's okay to be, it's not. I don't get that. And like, for example, people saying, oh, you weren't fat. Like, what? Like, I'm mad at my friends. I'm like, you were okay with me increasing my ability to, or my probability of getting heart disease and diabetes and
Right.
How did I not get that anyways? I don't get that. I think that we should start normalizing, like, telling your friends, get your ass in the gym, do that. Which is what we do. The fitness accountability thing. Because then when all your friends are sending you... So basically, we could talk about that too, what fitness accountability is. I think it's one of the best things in the world. It keeps me on track. The people that I do it with are saying it keeps them on track and stuff, but I learned it from my buddy Malachi, who maybe we'll see if he's on an episode at one point. But yeah, you have a bunch of people sending you, fitness accountability workouts and stuff, and you're not doing it. You're like, well, damn. And then you go in the gym and try to like that just happened the other day. What was it, like a hour, 20-minute workout. My buddy sends me an hour and 40. So literally just to spite him, and I got sore after, but whatever. I mean, if you're not sore, you're not working out hard enough. I worked 2 hours. Now, I do not know if I'll ever go do that again, but I don't know. It's just it's good competitive nature and stuff. That's the inner lion that I think a lot of us in the community have. A lot of us share. So, but yeah. I mean, that's my add on to that. But
right, and I would add on as well, I don't think there's ever a situation where being stronger and just physically more powerful is going to be to your disadvantage. Right? You don't necessarily have to go and work out 2 hours in the gym every day. I mean, hell, some days all I do is just like 25 minutes of push-ups and an ab circuit or something, just because I don't have a lot of time every single day to do a full extended workout. But if you're developing yourself and you're getting stronger, then your life is going to improve. You're going to be happier. You're going to be more confident, like we were talking about. And then most critically, you're going to actually be able to make developments that you can measure in the gym. And if you know that you go to the gym, you start off benching 135, and then 6 months later you're at 165, and then 1 year later you're at 225. You can see that, and that's actually one of the things that I want to talk about today. Like if you're somebody who's thinking about just getting back into it, or maybe you've recently started getting back into the grind and you're trying to stay with it, one of the most important things I think you can do is write things down. Get a journal. I use just the notes app on my phone, and I have like my different workouts for different days. So I have like sort of like 2 or 3 different types of full body routines that I do. And I record every single workout, like what it's called, like let's say the bench press, the weight, so it might be like 185, and then like how many sets and how many reps, right? And every single time I go through and I do that, I literally just quickly look at my phone, see what I'm doing for the day, and then I just go in and I do it. And that way I know exactly how far I'm progressing and how much progress that I'm making over time.
I like that.
Yeah. Preparation is super important.
What gets tracked and measured gets accomplished.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly, yeah. It's when opportunity and preparation meet that you find success.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
Yeah. Do you wanna add on to that, Angles?
Yeah. I think that we could actually kind of delve into that if like I guess what are some specific things that people can do for for the new year to help keep them on track and stuff. We got that. I mean, again, tracking and measuring what you're actually doing. One thing I want to talk about, like, because here's something that I find interesting, and we talked about this a little bit in the Lions Only group. What is your opinion on if someone has a goal but they want to wait on it instead of acting immediately? That's because that's something that's always like, at least I don't know, intrigued me a little bit. Like if someone, the whole thing right now, like we're talking about New Year, like let's start in the new year, let's start in X amount of weeks as opposed to biting the bullet and starting now. Do you feel like that has a hindrance on your mindset going forward, or?
That's a great question. I think you have way less time than you think. And for people who are older, you probably understand what I'm saying. But I feel like I was in high school yesterday, and time just moves so fast. And before you know it, you're going to be too old to really do a lot of the things that I like to. For example, I'm a big hiker, right? So I live in New Hampshire, go hike the White Mountains. There's going to be a certain point in my life where, due to injuries or age or whatever, that I can't do that anymore. And so if I'm not training to be able to push it to the max now, then I'm never going to have that opportunity in the future. But put simply, you never know. Like, tomorrow's never promised. Anything could happen. You could get sick. You might have a major life event come up that will like actually prevent you from having the time to go out and make fitness a priority. So if you right now have the time, if it's possible for you to do anything, even if it's just like, again, we talked about, if you have 25 minutes, just do a round of push-ups and sit-ups, do it. Because it's better than not doing it and then putting it off until tomorrow, because eventually you're going to get to the point where you don't have it tomorrow. And nobody knows when that time is coming. So just on a very, very real note, there's no time like now. Now is the time to go out and chase your dreams and chase opportunities. And, I guess at some point maybe we'll talk about in the future, maybe more broadly, the trends that we see in society. But right now, we live in a very, very competitive world. We've got a tight labor market, we've got a depressed stock market, we've got a lot of things that are factoring in that will push people into either two extremes. The people who are actually getting after it, waking up every single day and chasing their dreams and pursuing the best version of themselves, they're going to be the ones who are successful, and they're going to get more and more and more. And the people who put it off until tomorrow, they're going to get less and less and less. It's called the Matthew principle. Nice. Right? That the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's something that's been true for as long as humans have been around. So don't be on the cycle, because the way that life works is so exponential. If you're constantly losing and you're always one step behind, it's not going to get better just by itself. You have to be the one that takes that first step to reverse the curse and then push yourself into that positive direction so that you create those positive feedback loops. And I genuinely think that things in your life will start connecting when you start doing the right things. And when you're acting responsibly, especially in regards to your health, your career, all the other aspects of your life, you'll notice opportunities start opening. You're going to have doors that come your way that you can now go through, the options that were no longer available, that did not used to be available, that will make themselves available to you. So Yeah, that's a very good question. And I think the time to start is always today, and how hard you should work, harder than you think you should.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to add on to that and stuff, what I think is it's kind of like selling yourself short, no? I mean, like, there's always going to be an excuse. It's kind of like I'm in sales, right? I mean, we always talk about there's an excuse for your client to not want to buy, always, but they're the same ones for working out, right? Like, oh, it's the holidays. I want to be able to eat my chocolate, whatever you want to eat. I didn't really eat that much dessert this holiday. But
Good for you.
yeah, it's whatever, right? I mean, I had like some cookies and a piece of cake. But there's 2 days a year, right? But there's that, then there's the new year. I want to like start slow. I want to like even that. I don't know. For me, I get pacing yourself at the same time, but why sell yourself short? Why start, slow? Why push it off? Just kind of dive into it and let it consume you. I don't know about you, but whenever I do something, I kind of just let it consume me. I can't do something half-assed or without a lot of effort or anything like that. And that's not to say, oh great, look how great I am and stuff. It's more so just it's the energy you put into it will treat you the same back with how you're treating whatever you're doing. And like I think to your point, right? Like people not getting up, not getting at it. The learned helplessness principle in psychology starts kicking in, right? People are more woe is me. They're more victim. Or victimizing, and it's just a vicious cycle that I think it's detrimental. So that's kind of why I'm always saying just get at it now. I've had a few people saying, awesome, I'm going to start in the new year. Look, that's better. The idea of starting at all is better than nothing, right? But why wait for, what's the difference of waiting for, how many days do we have left? Like 3? What's the difference between starting in 3 days and starting literally right now? And I think this episode's probably going to go out in the new year, so, a little...
Recording in advance.
Yeah, we're recording this in advance.
Yeah.
It might go out in the new year.
We're ahead of the curve.
Exactly, as
Showing
always.
you how to do it.
But, just do that. I go in as hard as you possibly can, and don't sell yourself short, because there's a reason why people... there's a huge influx of people at the gym in the beginning of the year, and then about a month in, people stop. My opinion, most of them have the mentality of, oh, new year, new me, I'm going to do this, and then, because they're already, they could have started months before, they could have started days before, weeks before, who knows, right? Years before. I should have started years before, and I didn't. So, I'd be in so much better shape than I even am right now, and I would love that.
What if?
But that's, like to your point, though, right? Like, the time is now. Like, when are you going to be, because I was thinking about that, too. That's another huge reason why I'm starting, or not starting, because I've been doing this for like a year now. But why I wanted to get in shape is, like, look at Tom Brady. The dude's like 50 years old.
Yeah.
Can do backflips. He can destroy everybody. And, like, he's supposed to be, what, old?
Yeah.
Like, and then you have other people, like, I see these memes on Facebook, me in my mid-20s, and people are going, oh, my back. How is that funny? Like, why is it funny to, like, not be in shape? I don't get that. I don't get that. But, yeah, that's, I guess my thoughts on that. But do you think that there's any, like, strategies people can kind of employ? Like, I think that one thing that starts to get hard is not having any inhibitions or any, like, I think inhibitions is the right word. Sometimes people don't want to follow certain helpful measures because they feel embarrassed about it, right? Like, for example, like, someone might think, like, we're writing stuff down. That helps. What gets tracked and measured gets accomplished. But someone's like, oh, I don't want to keep a diary or a journal, or, like, what do you... I guess another question I'd have is, like, what do you think are some tips that people can do to help, like, stay consistent as far as that goes? Like, what specifically can they do? There's the simple thought of, just wake up and go do it, go to the gym and stuff, but, like, do you feel like there's any, is there anything that you do to help you stay consistent? Because I see you're working out, like, every day. I mean, at least most days. I see you working out all the time.
Most days.
Yeah, not as much as me, but no, I do see. Yeah, you're working out a lot. So, like, what do you? I guess so. What are some things that you do to help stay consistent?
Yeah, that's a great question. Another good question.
I'm full of them.
So there's tips, and then I think there's just lessons. There's things that you learn the hard way by going through it, and one thing a lot of people don't realize is that discipline is very similar to your body, in that it can be trained and developed over time. So if you're somebody who's thinking themselves right now, I'm never going to be able to be the person who wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day, works out for 2 hours every single day, eats 100% clean, just salmon and brown rice every single day. Like, that sounds intimidating, and rightfully so, because maybe you're not at that level yet. I'm not at that level yet. I'll just admit it. But over time, you'll get there, and that's important, that you have enough trust and belief in. Again, we talked about, that goal, that ideal, that standard that you're going to set for yourself, that future version of yourself that you are going to make sure that you become no matter what happens. If you stay focused on always pushing towards it, you're going to notice that your discipline improves along with your stats in the gym, let's say. So basically, my practical advice, because that's very sort of ethereal, but practically, start where you can. If you like dessert, like I love sweets, I have a bad sweet tooth. So the thing I'm always pushing myself is for just less sweets, right? If I want 2 cookies, I take 1, right? If I want 1 cookie, then cut it in half and give the other half to my wife or something. Like things like that.
That's nice.
Every single area that you can, where you can push yourself out of your comfort zone, do it. Because the more comfortable you become with being uncomfortable, that translates across all realms of life. Right, just even beyond the gym, like wherever you work, your job, in your relationships. If you get married, there's going to be a lot of times that you're uncomfortable, but you have to learn to just be comfortable in it, rise to the occasion, and make sure that you handle your business. And like we mentioned, life is not going to give you alternatives. There's going to be somebody else out there who is pushing themselves into the zone of being uncomfortable. So start where you can. If maybe all that means is like, I'm going to wait until the weekend to have dessert, that's a good place to start. And just stick to that. That's what you're going to hold yourself to. Stick to that. And then always be looking for that opportunity to push and be more competitive. Because if you can be good at competing with yourself in a healthy way, not tyrannizing yourself, I think you're going to be surprised by how much more disciplined you can become over time. So, Anglis, I got a question for you.
Sure.
You do a lot of lifting in the gym, and from what I understand, you've tried a lot of things, right? Everybody has their philosophy on what you do when you're going to the gym, and how much weight are you supposed to be lifting? What kind of exercises are you doing? So, can you shed some light for us on what exactly are you doing? Are you one of the guys who's doing the bro split, arm day, shoulders day, chest day, etc., or do you have a different philosophy in mind? I want to hear you speak about that.
So that's a great question. Yeah. So basically, look, my routines are kind of changing based on what I see online. I thought that like the cardio I was doing was enough for legs, so I want to say maybe about like a month and a half ago, I started actually doing legs like along with other workouts, which is kind of why my workouts are starting to be a lot longer, because I'm grouping a lot more muscle groups into one day. So typically what I'm doing is I'm lifting Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sundays are my fun boxing days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do arms, back, legs. Tuesday and Thursday, I do chest, tries, abs. So I do it in that way. Reason why, at least why it's doing it. Like, look, my whole thing is this. I guess the long answer is that everyone loves Arnold, right? Arnold is the king. Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he always talks about doing different exercises so you can shock your muscle groups, because, like, in studies show this too. Once you start doing the same exact movements, your bodies adapt to those movements so that you... Like, I still have a very hard time at making my arms sore. I can literally work out, and I have done this, working out like an hour and 45 minutes straight of arms and biceps, and I'm not sore the next day. I have so I have to do something to like really shock them, or so basically I don't do the same routines back to back. Like I'll have some days, like one week I'll like Monday of 1 week I'll do the same routine as the next week, but I usually mix it up. But usually the muscle groups are pretty are the same, I'd say. It's just a habit I've kind of gotten in and been comfortable with it. But
let's say that you're going to the gym for like 30 minutes. That's your allocation. What do you do for those 30 minutes, or what do you recommend that people do if they have a limited amount of time to maximize their
So
time in the gym?
it's about I think that's an awesome question. It's vague. Whatever you like doing most. Whatever you're gonna put the most effort into. Because if you're gonna do like, oh, I gotta do arms, and then you're gonna like half-ass it. You're gonna do, be like, oh, I'll just do like, I'll curl 15s. Look, if that's all you can curl, that's fine. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, if that's all you can curl, that's fine. But if you're I don't know, like do something you want, because then you put a lot more effort into it, right? Like, for example, if I had 30 minutes and I could do anything, I'd box. Because I put like a hell of a lot more effort into that than I would anything else. Like, I love lifting. That's still like my thing. I love that. I have a ridiculously awesome routine. Go to the gym, go to the sauna for a half hour, cold immersion therapy. You feel amazing, right? Maybe some alkaline breath work in there.
Sure.
But boxing, I would put so much more effort into that, and I feel like when you're putting a lot more effort and energy into something, that like there's something that you're doing mentally that helps with that exercise. I don't know if you agree with that, but you can go through like, you ever have those days, for example, you're in the gym and you're lifting and you're just not feeling it. And as a result of that, even though you might have worked out in time like an hour and a half or something, you're like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
Right.
feel like you don't feel like you worked out a lot. That actually happened to me the other day, because I won't get into that. One of my workouts got a little interrupted. And even though I worked out for like an hour and 20 minutes, I just felt like that was weird. I just didn't feel like, but if you're putting like even a half hour into like rigorous exercise, like for example, working the heavy bag for, what's a half hour? Maybe 6 rounds with a minute break in
5 minute
between.
rounds. Yeah, sure.
Something like that, whatever, right? Then yeah, I mean, and you put all your effort into that, you're gonna have a hell of a lot better of a workout. Because I think that
Right.
mentally you're there, you're also motivated and stuff too. Setting your future self up too for being like, damn, that workout was awesome, I'm gonna do that again. As opposed to, oh god, I don't want to do that again, because you had one bad experience because you're trying to rush something. Now that's my long answer for that, but I think that's the short answer. I'd say whatever your favorite workout is, right? Unless your favorite workout is something that is not really a workout, then don't. That's not a thing.
Yeah,
But that's my thought. But that's a great question, I think. Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
All right, I got another one for you. After you've done your favorite workout, you've gotten your 30-minute, whatever in, or more if you're doing more. What do you think about recovery? How do you maximize recovery? How important is recovery? What do you do personally, and what do you think everybody should do generally to make sure that they're recovering properly?
I want to talk a lot about this. I mean, we not this episode, because we have about a few minutes to 5 minutes left. Count your macros. That sounds stupid, but you could even get to the point where like MyFitnessPal is a free app, right? I'm even considering
Yeah.
buying the premium version so I can get like what it's doing for my heart, et cetera, and go like way more into it.
Yep.
Count your macros. It takes 2 seconds. You can even if you get premium, actually, this used to be a free feature, but it's stupid. You can literally scan the barcode of whatever you're eating. Boom, macros go into there, and you know what you're eating. So
Yeah.
for recovery, like that's your fuel. What are you eating for protein? Are you eating enough protein? For a long time, I thought that I was eating a lot of protein because I'd have fish for dinner. That's like, what, 40 grams of protein in a day? And if you are trying to build muscle mass, you want to be between 0.7 and 1 full gram of protein per body weight, or per pound of body weight you have,
Right.
which means that I should be eating, I want to say, anywhere between 130 and 177 grams of protein right now, right? But yeah, that's your fuel. That, and look into, just saying, and I'm not gonna try to be a Jehovah's Witness with this, but you know what? Whatever I am, I'm big on the Wim Hof method. I'm very big on that. Alkaline breathing, cold exposure, stuff like that for recovery is also literally scientifically proven to help a lot. And
Yeah.
I've noticed a ridiculous amount of my or change of stamina, and I feel heart health too in general. Like, I can do heavy workouts and breathe through my nose. I'm not panting. I feel like a lot stronger. So I just say, like, look into natural ways to boost certain parts of your body that also help for recovery. It's not just about like, oh, I gotta rest. You get because yeah, I mean obviously you got to rest, but like what is resting? It's getting enough sleep. It's drinking beetroot powder because that helps with your cardiovascular system. It helps with your eyesight, etc., etc. It's do something that's. I'll talk about this a lot more later, but do something that might be a little uncomfortable, like cold exposure. Jump in a freezing cold lake because that's ridiculously good for your muscles, for your recovery, for your heart health. Because then once you do that, you're fueled for the next day in the gym and the next day and the next day, and then you can just work out and be. Look, it helps you get stronger, right? I mean, like I think that it's a great question because recovery is everything in this. If you work out one day and then you can't work out the rest of the week, that sucks. That sucks. I don't know because I don't know about you. If I go one day without doing it, I feel disgusting. Even if I'm not like going on a walk or a hike or something like that. But that's my view of the recovery. But I think that's good. Like, what about? Do you do anything specific for recovery at all? Or
Yeah, I would add two things to that, and the first one would be sleep.
oh yeah,
I think a lot of people today find excuses to cheat themselves on getting a full night's rest. Whether that's staying up at night on your phone or I know I'm really guilty of working late, because I always feel like I want to get ahead. I always want to get ahead, and getting a full night's rest is so important. I think in the same way that you have a healthy body, healthy mind. So if you train harder, you're just going to be more productive in other aspects of your life. The same thing is true for sleep. If you sleep more, you're actually going to be more productive during the waking hours. I find that to be true, anyways. Your brain will function faster. Your muscles will recover more. You'll be able to do more in the gym, push yourself harder. So that's the first thing I'd say is just get a consistent sleep routine. I think it's important for just about everybody out there. I don't know if I've ever met somebody who does not benefit from getting a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. So that's the first thing I'd say. The other one that just as Anglis is a activist for the Wim Hof method. I'm a huge fan of myofascial release. So if you don't have a foam roller and you lift weights, get a foam roller, start rolling out your muscles.
I don't do this, so this is something I'd like to do.
Yeah, well, I'll try and work on him first, and then we'll see if I can convert him over to the dark side.
Yeah. What is that about? What is that about?
Well, so I'll say this. A lot of people don't think about they think about their muscles the way that you learn it in a biology textbook, right? You have your biceps, your deltoids, all these different muscles in isolation. But if you ever actually cut into a sample, like a cadaver of a body, or cut into let's say an animal, and you look at the way that the muscles are organized, they're actually all connected by this white papery tissue called fascia. And the fascial system was very poorly understood for a while. There's more and more research coming out about it. And I think hopefully at some point we'll do a full episode where we can just kind of talk about.
Want to do it next episode?
Yeah, honestly, yes.
Literally, I'm going to try this
honestly,
now,
yes.
So
yeah,
let's do
for
it.
sure. So
stay tuned.
Number 2, myofascial release. But yeah, there's a ton of ways in which the myofascial system works in conjunction with every other part of your body to. It has absorptive properties, there's neurological properties, there's a whole lot of things. But when you work out, your muscles tend to tighten up, right? This is why all the big lifters, they have a very limited range of motion. I noticed this with boxing especially. All the kids who were big-time gym rats, they just weren't as effective punching because they literally couldn't move their shoulders the way that you need to be effective. With boxing. Yeah, absolutely. If Wilder's out here, he knows what I'm talking about. I saw a comment about the boxing training versus the lifting training. But yeah, when you roll out your muscles, what you do is like if you have a rubber band that's been stretched too far and then it's just it's permanently out of stretch, the myofascial release is the way of restoring the original elasticity of the rubber band. So it's a great way to increase the blood flow in your muscles, break up sort of that calcification of the fascia that causes the tightness to begin with, and you feel great. It's if you're new to it, then it can be very, very tender and maybe even a little bit painful, but with time and with repetition, it becomes something that honestly it's like the best feeling massage you could ever get is like rolling out your muscles, in my opinion. So that would be the one thing I would add to recovery is definitely incorporate some sort of myofascial release, rolling out your muscles, and then even pliability and flexibility. I realized very recently that because I run a lot, and then I tried to touch my toes like maybe 4 months ago and realized I could come nowhere near close.
Man, really.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
How close can you get?
Right now, probably not that close either because I'm a
Show
little
the
bit
viewers.
tight. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's good. You touched
yeah.
them.
Well, we'll do. Do another episode about flexibility as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's important as well. So yeah, get some stretching in, roll out your muscles, sleep well, eat well, and then stay consistent.
Absolutely.
But those are I think that's all that I have for like a general overview for getting back in the gym, staying in the gym, that type of thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Because
anything
for me, I guess the only thing I'd add is nothing. So no, because we're gonna try to keep these episodes like maybe like a half hour and stuff, because then once you start getting like an hour and 2 hours, I don't know about you, I see a podcast that's 2 hours and I'm like, okay, and then I don't really want to listen to it. So we're gonna keep this content short but interesting, maybe a half hour, maybe a minute. No, but for real. Yeah, that's it too. Until next episode, right? Myofascial
release.
Myofascial
Yeah, stay tuned.
release. Cool.
Yes.
Stay tuned and stay hungry, Lions.
Absolutely.